Hello everybody, this is Backblast. Here I am again on Planet Zoo on my Chester Zoo build, and we've got something a little bit special today because although we haven't finished the old side of the zoo, we were getting to a point where a lot of the areas that I couldn't do were because I just didn't have the information. So I've been doing a few bits where I've been filling in gaps, you know, with trees and benches and paths and things like that. But today we've got something brand new because I've started on the islands side of things, and we've got our first enclosure, which is actually the tiger enclosure. And it looks a bit weird because it's sat out on its own over here, and none of the paths reach anywhere else yet, and it's almost like a little oasis in the middle of chaos, really. But here it is. This is the tiger enclosure at Chester Zoo, as best I could do it in Planet Zoo. So let's have a little wander around, and we'll show you some of the highlights. So this is the probably the main viewing area for the exhibit. It's the three large windows here, or two large windows and a slightly smaller one, and they look directly out into the enclosure. On the left is the sleeping area and the bit where the animals go when they're off show. It's all in this building, which is it's camouflaged to look like a big rock. We've also got a pond here, which in real life is a little bit smaller. It doesn't quite go all the way up to the rocks at the back there, but it's not far off. That isn't a tiger, that's a keeper. I just thought I'd point that out. But we'll have a wander around and we'll see if we can see any more of the tigers further around. I just wanted to point out that obviously all the bits around it are empty, so it does look a bit out of place. This, I think, is a tapir house, I think. So that's going to be done soon enough. And this is an area where you view the tapirs, but obviously not done yet. What we do have, though, is a bit of rock work here. We can go inside here. There are lights up in here, in real life and in game. There's a viewing port over there, and we do have a tiger out that way. He's just having a little wander about, or a she. There are two tigers in the enclosure, one male, one female. And of course these are Bengal tigers rather than the Siberian, so they want a warmer habitat. I can hear the tigers, we can't see them very much. So that's the second viewing window there. It's nicely themed. There are footprints in the concrete in the real zoo, and some fake roots coming through there. But if we walk out through this way, you follow the path around. It's quite heavily grown at the sides, but we then have a viewing area here, where again this is where we were just looking out from. You can see the two tigers there. It's quite a nice design in that it dips down here, so you don't have a big fence in front of you. There's nothing obscuring your view of the tigers, and there's a little den here. There they go. And then if you carried on, you would go over a bridge and then into the rest of the islands area. Let me just show you some of the off-show bits, and then I'll come back and I'll show you the rest of the actual enclosure. So the main building where the animals live is here. This is the approximate shape. I think I've done a pretty good job of it. This is an off-show area. It's got a mesh roof on it, and I'm not quite sure whether I should put like a rope roof on it, so it looks a bit like it's got a mesh roof on. These aren't here. These were here just so I could get the animals in and make sure that they didn't need to go to quarantine and things like that. There's vets and whatnot. So they aren't there, and they will be disappearing. There are some other buildings around here which I will be putting in at a later date. Also, there's another enclosure sort of comes up to here somewhere, which I need to do. I'm not sure if that's the sun bears or not. This is actually set out as a sleeping enclosure, I don't have any food or water in the enclosure, apart from the ones that you get through either enrichment, like the zebra enrichment there. Oh, it's called a piñata, isn't it? So I don't actually have a big food tray, and I don't have a water tray. They've got clean water here, and they should get enough food from the actual enrichment items. But here we go. So this is an overview now of the enclosure as it looks. It's really well done in the zoo, in that you can't see any of the walls all the way around. It's really, really good. When you're walking around, you don't get any of the walls. So although I've put concrete in here to keep the water in, and same on this side, just keep the water in, I suspect that they're mesh, because they're mesh further around. The other thing about the fences is, in real life, they do have a big curved top on them. So again, it's difficult to do in game because we don't have any mesh textiles, and it would end up being a rope, which I've used down here on this little fence. Although I have seen two different photographs of this, one where it's got a rope fence and one where it's got wooden slats. So I didn't know which to do, so we've gone with the rope one for now. But I have seen one with wooden slats in there, so I don't know which is the latest of the two. So yeah, as I was saying, there's a big curved mesh top to this fence, and I haven't done it. I'll probably have a go at it and see what it looks like, and if I don't like it, I'll leave it off. I do like the way the enclosure looks now. It does look pretty close to the actual enclosure in the zoo. So obviously the enclosure goes over the top of the path here, so we can walk through. There's where the two viewing windows are, and then this second half I've concentrated more of the food and enrichment items in here, just so that we get the tigers coming in this part and in the front part where the water is, and I've even put a little enrichment item on the rock, so hopefully they'll get up on the rock. It's all pretty traversable. Let me just bring that up for you. So they can get into this area. As I said, I might put the mesh on that, I'm not sure. But they can swim, they can get all the way around, they can go over the top as we've seen, and then pretty much everywhere in there. And that's that. That's my Chester Zoo tiger enclosure. It really does look pretty good. I think I've done a good job on this. Occasionally when I do these, I sort of look at it and think, yeah, I'm a bit restricted. But with this, I really enjoyed the build. It's a very, very complicated build, especially trying to get the path going through the rock and the right look of all this with the rock work on it, and the rock bits at the entrances and the exit, and then just getting the paths and the windows in. It was a great deal of difficulty, but very, very satisfying now it's done, and I do like the way it all looks. So there you go. So that is the Chester Zoo tiger enclosure, and I think that's it for the video. I don't think there's much else for me to say or do. I think you've seen it all. There are a few other bits. So I've got a lot of the boat and things put in, and I've block marked some of the buildings so they're in approximately the right spot, and even the large show building there, and a few of the other bits, and approximate areas where paths are, but they're no way set in stone. So hopefully when you join me the next time, it's going to be another enclosure in the new area. So it may be the sun bears or the I'm pretty sure it's tapir there. It may be one of those, but who knows. But there we go, we've started on the new side of the zoo. I hope you like it. My name's Backblast. I'll catch you next time.